Hello, Tech Pros, episode 213. Welcome to the podcast where I chat with professionals who are getting the job done using technology 7 days a week. Each week, we start with Motivation Monday. Tuesday is about productivity, Wednesday, leadership, Thursday, technology, Friday, people and communication, Saturday, entrepreneurship, and Sunday, being unplugged. All right, let's get started. Hello, Tech Pros. This is Chad Bostic, and I'm excited to be here on Wednesday. I'm going to be testing out something new today. So normally on Leadership Wednesdays, we talk about leadership, and I have a featured guest. But you know what? I've been doing some data analytics on the stats. And to be quite honest with you, there are a few days of the week that outperform other days of the week. So when I look at the stats for this podcast, I see that Entrepreneurship Saturday and Tech Thursdays, by and large, outperform some of the other days. And a couple of the days, specifically Motivation Monday and Leadership Wednesday, are unfortunately some of the lowest ranking episodes that I have. They get the least number of hits. And you know what? I've been looking for an opportunity to make some pivots in this podcast. And I think I'm going to test out a pivot by making the next few episodes, the next few Wednesdays to be on career development, specifically the anxiety that technical professionals have when they're developing their careers. So to give you a little bit of background, if you don't know me, my name is Chad Bostic, and I have a lot of episodes where I talk about social anxiety, my life with social anxiety, what it meant to me as a little kid, how it affected me in the early parts of my career. And then I have a few episodes where I talk about or touch on, as I'm moving up my career, some of the things that held me back and some of the things that allowed me to go forward. One of the things that allowed me to go forward was really accepting the fact that, it's cool for me to go into management. I had always said, no, I don't want to go into management. And I have a whole episode about that. If you go to hellotechpros.com/career, there's my career hyperdrive course where I have 7 full days of talking about career development. And in that series of episodes, I talked about how, my boss really wanted me to move out of the hands-on software development track and move into more administration, into leadership, into management. And I resisted for like 3 years before I said, yeah, I want to give it a shot. The reason I did that, there's a lot of reasons I did that, but basically it all comes down to anxiety. Now, don't get freaked out. Don't get anxious if I'm using the word anxiety or social anxiety here a lot. It's something that I've been dealing with. Not everyone who has anxious symptoms or not everyone who has situational anxiety can be diagnosed or can be classified as having social anxiety disorder. It's a spectrum. There's a lot of people who fall somewhere on the spectrum where it's not debilitating, but you know what? You get nervous. You get frustrated, you get fearful, you get, just uncomfortable in a certain situation. So today we're going to be talking about the situation where you're trying to develop your career, you're trying to move up the ladder, but you know what? You've got friends all around you that are stuck in the same place. And something that's really fun for a lot of people to do is sit around and bitch and moan about their boss and complain about their work and struggle with, we're all in this 9-to-5 together. We're all in this enterprise corporation together. We're all on this project together. One of the things that I always struggle with my social anxiety is now, if you're a very competitive person, this will probably make absolutely no sense to you whatsoever. If you are a career-driven, very competitive person who wants to be the best and wants to top everybody else and rise up the ranks and just dominate everybody, then this will sound like complete made-up BS to you. You will not get any of it. However, if you are someone like me who has anxiety around your friends and anxiety around other people, then you may be able to relate to this story. So I have never been a really competitive person. I played soccer, and that's the only sport that I really was in for a long, long time. But I never really cared if we won or lost. I never really had an emotional response whenever we won the championship or we won the game or we lost a game. It's just like, okay, cool. What I really focused on was my individual performance in that team sport. Did I play my best? Did I trip and stumble and fall over my own 2 feet? Or did I have a couple of really good plays? Did I make an amazing block? Or did I actually freaking score a goal for once? And that was how I judged myself. That was my did I have fun or not? Do I want to do this again tomorrow or not? It was really based off of, am I growing in my individual performance as a soccer player? Now, truth be told, I was never considered myself very good. I didn't play in high school. I didn't play very much little league. I was never on like competitive teams where you go around and compete against other teams in tournaments and stuff like that. I really got into indoor soccer as an adult at about 19 years old, 19, 20 years old, and then played for, the next 20 years. But all that time, I never really, really, really enjoyed beating other people. Now, I enjoyed winning. I had fun. But it wasn't that I was out to crush the opponent. It wasn't that I was out to win the game, to get the W. That competitive spirit that all the sports analysts talk about. I never had that, and I never really understood it because it's like, we had fun, we played, we kicked the ball around. I don't like it if the guys or girls on the other team are really belligerent and they get really ugly and there's a lot of fouls. I just don't want to play that game. But as long as everybody's kind of cool, even if we're like intense and we're, fighting for the ball and scrapping and running our hardest and all that kind of stuff, then as long as I can truly say, you know what, I gave it my all and I left everything out on the field, then cool. I had a great time. I had an absolutely great time, and I don't care if I win or lose. Now take that to the business. Take that to your career. What do you think that did to me as I was growing my career, right? I'm a software developer. There's 10 other software developers on the team. I am one of thousands of people in this organization. How do you think that lack of competitive spirit kind of affected my career? Well, I'm not sure if there was a lack of competitive spirit actually affected my career or not, because I still wanted to outperform myself, right? I always consider myself as the target that I'm going to beat. Like I'm not looking to, Jeff or Mary, I have to beat them. I have to, my code's got to be better than them. But just like I want to learn the stuff that I don't know how to do, and I want to do the things that I didn't know that I could do. And I want people to say, "No, Chad, you can't do that. There's no way that you'll be able to figure that out." I want that kind of challenge to push me and drive me. But I've never really wanted to push myself to really rise up the ranks and get the promotion and to get all the leadership accolades and to become a manager, because I really was afraid of how people would react to that. So I have, with social anxiety, have had very few like really close friends. And I've had extremely few number of people that I'm just comfortable around at work. And over the years, it's taken me a long time to develop a lot of skill sets in order to become comfortable in the workplace, to become comfortable like communicating with people, talking to people, all that kind of stuff. Excuse me. And so I really struggled with the fact that I've only got a few friends here. And I know that I have a really, really hard time making friends, and I have a really hard time accepting the fact that people want to be my friend. And I don't want to jeopardize the friendships that I have here at work, because my gosh, I've had so few friendships just in my life in general, that to sacrifice one friendship would be absolutely devastating to me back at this point in my life. So as I'm in the kind of like the junior developer, moving up into senior developer, that was all kind of cool because there was no There was no sacrifice on anybody else's part. Like, it didn't affect anyone except it affected me, right? So moving from a junior to a senior, or junior to like a normal, like a, what do they call it? I don't know, just developer, right? From a junior developer to a developer to a senior developer, it really had zero to not much impact on the rest of the team. They're just like, oh, okay, good job, Chad. Congratulations. Wow, it's more money for you. But really, the kind of projects I was working on, pretty much the same. The kind of code that I was writing, hopefully it got a little better. But I might have been on bigger projects. I might have a little bit more responsibility. But I had no control. I had no authority. I had no responsibility other than to do my own stuff. And so there came a point in my career where there was really no other options to go. There was the career ladder of the next step on the rung is to move into a lead developer position, or to move parallel into something completely different, like project management or business analysis or database administration, or something that I had absolutely no desire to move into. I didn't want to make a lateral move. I wanted more money, right? I wanted more stock. I wanted more vacation time. I wanted more things. I wanted more rewards, but that responsibility and that authority of, you know what, now you're moving into you're thinking about moving into a lead position, it made me nauseous. Like, it made me sick to my stomach to think about the fact that here we are, all of my buddies, we're at the lunch table, and we're griping and griping and griping about stuff. You know, just whatever. The project manager doesn't know what she's talking about. The boss is making us bend over backwards for these projects. That, you know, the client is changing their mind every 30 seconds and won't really tell us what they want, but when we deliver something, then they tell us that it's wrong. You know, all that kind of normal stuff that you guys and gals probably have in your day job, wherever your day job is. It's just the normal day-to-day frustrations of, you know, just being an employee. But when you have an opportunity to move out of that and to get a different perspective and to have more authority and to have people actually listen to you and take direction from you and to do what you want them to do when you're in that management position, you know, that means that those people sitting around at the table are potentially talking about you. Right. So if I'm complaining about, I've never worked for somebody named Samantha, so I'll use the name Samantha. If I'm working for Samantha and 5 of you guys and girls out there are all working for Samantha, we all work for Samantha, and you know, Samantha's a great boss, but gosh, you know, every day at lunch, we just want to, oh gosh, I wish Samantha put me on your project instead of mine. Oh yeah, well, what do you think about this and that, and the other thing, right? So there's just that venting, that being able to vent to your friends, is kind of cool. It's kind of refreshing. It's comforting because you know that if you're friends, right, you're all in a safe environment. Now, not necessarily is it appropriate to vent to complete strangers or to vent to everybody in the organization or to slander your boss. I'm not saying anything like that, right? Don't throw people under the bus, but just venting about your personal situation, venting about your personal career and how's it going and the projects you're working on. To do that with your peers, with your friends, with your buddies, that's all kind of fair game and it's cool. But when Samantha leaves, right? She moves to a different department and then her position is open. Somebody's got to take it. Well, it's either going to be me or it's going to be one of you guys and gals, or it's going to be somebody completely different that they brought in outside the organization or from a different department. How does that make you feel? Like if your boss left, right, got promoted, moved on to another organization, and there was a gap in the organization and that position was open, and they said, hey, we would like you to step up and move to that position. There's a lot of you guys and gals that are like, cool, that's awesome. That's what I've been waiting for. That's exactly what I want. But for me, it was absolutely terrifying. And the reason I said no 3 times over the course of several years, no, I don't want to move into that position. The excuses I gave was, I don't want to be in meetings all day. I want to actually get work done, right? I don't want to sit around talking at a table. I want to get things done. Another excuse I gave is I don't want to worry about budget. I'm not a budget guy. I'm a developer. I build things. I build software. I want to be an architect. I want to build things. I don't want to do budgetary things. And the other excuse was, I don't want to do performance reviews at the end of the year. Like, it makes my stomach churn to think about the fact that I'm going to have to write down on paper and submit this paper to HR and have a conversation with someone about what I've written on this piece of paper that is literally going to affect the amount of money that they're going to bring home to spend on the things that they care about. And when you got down to it, that freaked me out. The fact that I would, moving into a lead position, whether I had HR responsibility and, hiring and firing responsibility or not, but the fact that I would be doing performance evaluations, and those performance evaluations would reflect on the individual's career and how that individual progressed in their career, really freaked me out. And it made me extremely, extremely uncomfortable, because I knew that the other individuals around the table at the lunch break, right, they're all complaining about the same thing I am, right? The project sucked. The project manager is a dweeb. Like, the client is railroading over us. Like, we don't have control to do anything, blah, 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 blah. And are we going to get any more money this year? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. We might get a cost of living. We might not. Oh, so-and-so got a bonus. Wow. How did he do it? Like, he hasn't gotten anything done. He just sits around and talks to people all day. How come he's getting bonuses? And so that camaraderie of having friends at the office who know where you're coming from and feel the same feelings and have the same disappointments, right? I absolutely feared going into moving up the ladder, moving up my career, and moving into a management position where now I'm the person that those guys and gals are now griping about. So for me, it was absolutely a situation where even when the opportunities came up, I declined them over and over and over. And I think if I would have accepted the first time around, the first time it came about, where would I have been in my career? I would have been at least 3 years ahead. Where would I be right now in my startup journey? I don't know, maybe 3 years ahead, or maybe I would have, I don't know, situations would have been different. But I would have at least had 3 additional years of management experience, trying it out, see if I like it or not, being able to move to other companies if I so desired with that manager title under my belt. But I didn't, because I gave excuses that I just want to write code. But it really came down to, I was afraid of how it was going to affect my friendships at work. I was afraid of what it was going to do between me and Jeff and Mike and Kyle and the other guys and girls there at the office. I was really, really afraid of what was going to happen. Some of those gentlemen, we had a lot of guys on the team. Unfortunately, we didn't have many girls on the team. Some of those gentlemen were really dear, close friends of mine. And we had worked together not only at that company, but at other companies in the past. And I had them over, their families over for cookouts. And they've had me over for birthday parties. And, we're friends outside of work. We're absolutely friends. And when you have social anxiety, that's a rare commodity. And I did not take for granted those friendships. I did not take for granted the fact that these guys are they accept me. They're not as big of dorks as I am, but they accept my dorkiness. They're not as big as geeks and nerds as I am, but they accept my geekiness and my nerdiness, and we're all cool with each other. And I love hanging out with them, and I love going on our 3 p.m. walks when we would go walk around the building or take a walk outside or whatever. I loved our afternoon lunches when we go out for Mexican food and eat some enchiladas and complain about whatever project we were working on. I absolutely loved that. But the thought of what happens if I'm Jeff's boss? What's going to happen? Dude, we've been friends for 10 years. What's going to happen to me and Jeff if now I'm his boss and I have to do his performance evaluation at the end of the year? No thanks. I don't want to do that. I can't. it freaks me out just thinking about it. It freaked me out at the time thinking about how would Jeff feel if I took this promotion. I was like, you know what? Jeff has been here more than me. He started before me. He helped me get this job. I think you need to promote him. And he was kind of saying the same thing. I don't know. I'm not going to speak on behalf of Jeff, but he had his own reasons and he declined. No, thank you. I don't want the promotion. I don't want to move up to a lead position either. Maybe he felt kind of like I did. Maybe he didn't want to piss off Chad. Maybe he didn't want to disappoint Chad. Maybe he didn't want to be in a position where he had to do my performance evaluations. I never really thought about that until just now. But he declined as well. And he said, no. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in meetings. I just want to write code. I love writing code. I love solving problems. I love working on my own, like in my office or in my cube, put on my headphones and just crank out the work and not have to deal with all the people problems. So he used a lot of the same language that I did. So maybe I should go back to and talk to him about how he felt at the time. But for me, I felt I don't want to ruin the relationship that I have with Jeff. I don't want to ruin that friendship. And so it took me saying no and then waiting on Jeff, and Jeff said no. And then they hired somebody else. An external contractor came in and then got hired full time and then became our boss or became somebody else's boss. And then that person moved to a different department, and then they brought in another person, same thing, moved on, brought in another person, same thing. And so after 3 years of this happening, where they bring in an external contractor, that contractor would get hired full time, that full time employee is now a supervisor and now a manager and now doing big and great things and running their own teams. Not only that, but they're getting a lot of respect around the organization. And I'm like, you know what? I'm missing out on these opportunities. I'm missing out on getting the experience. I'm missing out on building the other relationships outside of my department. And I'm missing out on, my career, advancing my career, because I'm afraid of how it's going to affect Jeff. And I can't do that to my family anymore, right? Because right now my salary is pretty much capped out. We still got, cost of living increases or, project bonuses and all that kind of stuff. But really my career path had been stagnant. And if I want to move up, if I want to move on, if I want to increase my salary, increase the amount of stock that I get, I need to accept a leadership position. Even if it's not full-time management, I at least need to accept a team lead position and move into those areas of responsibility. And so I did it. I finally did it. But along the way, I was absolutely terrified of that success. And I was terrified of what it would do to our friendship. So let me give you a little bit of background or a little bit of more information on like what happened next. Like what happened next in the story. Okay, so you took this position, you got promoted. Like, how did that feel and what happened and how did Jeff react? We'll talk about that in just a moment, but first, a quick break to thank our sponsors. This episode of Hello Tech Pros is sponsored by Minio Cloud Storage. Minio is a cloud object storage server for developers and DevOps written in Go. The Go programming language is the emerging language of choice for modern cloud infrastructure projects, and it allows Minio to be highly concurrent and lightweight. Minio is Amazon S3 compatible, built with microstorage architecture in mind, but at its heart, Minio is simple, scalable, and supported by a passionate developer and user community. In episode 89 of Hello Tech Pros, I talked with A.B. Periasamy, one of the founders of Minio, about the importance of community support and recruiting software developers who are as passionate about their product's code as artists are of their art. Check out that episode at hellotechpros.com/89 and check out Minio Cloud Storage at minio.io. That's minio.io.
Are you new to podcasting? Are you looking for a fast, high-quality, yet budget-friendly podcast production team? Let TransSource Media take care of you. With a team of professional audio and video editors, writers, and graphic artists, they can help you build your podcast from planning, post-production, and platform submission. Using only cutting-edge software and studio equipment, they're here to make each and every show sound at its best. To get a free quote, please visit www.transsourcemedia.com or send them an email at marketing@transsourcemedia.com or call them at 209 505-5693. TransSource Media, transforming businesses through the power of multimedia.
Okay, we're back and we're talking about the anxiety that technical professionals have when they are really anxious about losing their friends as they're developing their career and thinking about getting a promotion. Now, in my particular case, it was getting a promotion into management position, and I declined it year after year for like 3 years before I finally said yes, because I was really afraid of losing friends, especially some of the long-term friends that I've had for many, many years at this job and before this job, because I didn't have a lot of friends, and to lose a friend in my life would have been absolutely devastating. So what happened? I accepted this position after like 3 years of saying no thanks, I just want to write code. I finally accepted the position. I moved into management, and overnight, everything felt different. Everything felt weird. I no longer felt comfortable at the lunch table with the other individuals that were on my team. All of a sudden, I went to a peer standing to now I am the leader of our team. I am now the manager of our little department here, supervisor of our department, and it became extremely uncomfortable because there were a few comments, and I don't know if they were kind of snidey and snarky or if they were in jest. But when I had anxiety about it, I really felt like they were targeting me, like they were really to like twist the knife that was already in my back. I had put the knife in my own back by accepting this position, and I knew it was going to cause strain in certain relationships. And then right after that, I'm walking down the hall and people are chitting-chatting and, hanging out in each other's cubes. And as soon as I walk up and go, hey guys, what's going on? Like I normally did every single day at 2:30. Hey guys, what's going on? They'd be like, oh, the boss is here. Never mind. Better get back to work. And they would disperse and they would go back to working, which, is a good thing. We need to get stuff done, but we're not talking about lazy people. We're not talking about people who had behavioral issues where the projects were not getting done. We were all really hard workers. We were all really talented, hardworking team members as individuals. And there was not anybody on that team who was just a complete slacker, who sat around talking too much and didn't get their work done. But when I walked up, like came out of some staff meetings, came out of some manager meeting, walking up the hall, and I'm like, oh, my friends. I'm thinking to myself, hey, it's my friends, it's my buddies. I can finally hang out with them again and catch up and see what's going on in their world. And I'm like, hey guys, what's up? Meaning like, what's up from a just life perspective? Like, how you guys doing? And they would either disperse or they would start giving me status reports, like project status reports. I talked to so-and-so and she gave me this, and I talked to this guy and he's giving me this, and this code's still not working, and I don't know what we're going to do about that. I need help prioritizing this or that. And it became clear that my worst fears had come true, that my friendships had now turned into this really, really weird, awkward situation where I'm the boss and they're the employee, and they are now treating me different. However, what I want you guys and gals to know and take away from this situation is that's not bad. It wasn't a bad situation. Excuse me. The individuals did not, we did not lose our friendships. We were still friends, but we had to have times in our life where we separated the work from the friendship stuff. So as a peer, as a just another employee in the trenches, individual contributor, we were all on the same level. We were all had the same boss, and we all had the same expectations on us, the same deliverables on us. But when I was in a different situation, when I was in a different position, they respected that position. They respected that authority, and they respected me as an individual because they knew that I had, I'd done there. I had done the work. Like I'd been there, done that. I wasn't just some stranger off the street. So they really provided me a lot of support and a lot of understanding and a lot of, just like, hey, I love working for you. You're a great boss kind of stuff. But but still that healthy respect of, but you're the boss, and so I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be I'm not gonna be sitting around just chit chatting and talking when you're here. I'm gonna like show you that I'm performing and stuff. And so it took me about a year to transition into the fact that, it's okay. The position that I'm in, it's okay. And all that anxiety that I had before, that fear that I had before, I made some of those fears come true just because I kept living those fears. But once I came to realize that, when we were all sitting around griping about this fake person that I call her, Amanda? I can't remember what I called her. This fake person who wasn't really our boss. When we were griping about her, we weren't really griping about her as a person. We weren't griping about her as an individual or even as a boss. It was more of the situation that we all have to get here at 7 o'clock in the morning. We don't get to leave till 7 o'clock at night. We're here, away from our families, and still the customers won't tell us what they want, Once I moved into management, I took all these anxieties with me, but I discovered that along the way that my friends were still my friends, but they were going to give me the respect of the position as well. They gave me the respect of, you're the shot caller. I will give you my advice. I will give you my recommendations, but it's up to you to make the decision, or it's up to you to create an opportunity to delegate to me so that I can make the decision or whatever. And so all of those fears that I had turned into nothing that I should have been worried about. I did not lose any friends in this endeavor. I actually made a lot more friends because I had my original friends that are still my friends today, even though in some cases I was their manager for 3 or 4 or 5 years. Now that I'm not, we still talk on the phone. We still talk on Skype. We're Facebook friends, and we comment on each other's kids' pictures and stuff like that. I would love to have them over if they were in the state. Love to have them over for a barbecue, and catch up and see what's going on in their life. And once I got over the fear and anxiety of they're not my friend anymore, and I could just relax around them. Once I started relaxing at the office and being okay with me and being okay with my position and my title and being okay with the fact that, yeah, we do have to do this thing, this performance evaluation, but I'm not judging you as a person. I love you guys. I love you girls. I care for you. We have been in this too long together, and we are still in it together. And the feedback that I'm giving you is genuinely from a place of empathy and care and love and understanding, because I've been in your position. I've been on those projects where the project manager is not technical and the client doesn't know what they want, and you're trying to wrangle all the cats and get all the things done. I've been there. And so here is now my advice that I can officially give you, and so forth. And so no friendships were lost. One thing that I would point out is, how to manage your friends when you do become their boss is there. It's tough. It's tricky, but really you have to separate the job from the people, right? And so the job to the job roles are, this task needs to go to this job role, and you are the right person in the job role. But really, when I'm dealing with individuals, when you're their manager, you still have a great opportunity to listen and to empathize. You have their ear, and there will be a lot of people who maybe they weren't your friend before you became their boss, and they're going to resent the fact that these other peers, some of their peers, are now looking up to you and have a personal connection, personal relationship to you, because they have your ear and they have history and they have rapport with you. And so when they give you advice, or they tell you, dude, like, we cannot do that, it's going to absolutely screw up everything, or we have to do it this way, or we have to address this issue, you're going to listen to them because you trust them. You know them, you like them, you trust them, and they're going to have your ear. Whereas other individuals who weren't your friends are going to feel, in some cases, that they don't know how to break in and become like buddies with you, and it's all a like good old boys network or whatever you want to call it, right? And so you have to both still be kind and gentle and friendly with your old friends, but also expand your network of individuals that you're connecting to, that you're talking to, that you're taking advice from, that you're listening to the other individuals on the team. And you have to be balanced. You have to bring in ideas and concerns from everyone and not necessarily make everyone feel like they're your friend, but make sure that everyone knows that you are looking out for their best interest. You are looking out for them as individuals, and you're not just sticking up for your buddies. Because if you're just sticking up for your buddies, if you're not listening to the other team members, then you're being a horrible boss, and we don't want that to happen. So I hope this helped. If this helped you at all, if you have anxiety at work, if you have anxiety in the business place, if you have anxiety about, telling your boss that you are thinking about moving into management, or telling your coworkers that, someday I may be your boss because I would like to move into management, or you have anxiety about communicating with different people at work, in different roles and different responsibilities. I have been there. I have felt it. I have a lot of empathy for you, and I would love to help you in any way I can. If you go to hellotechpros.com/anxiety, hellotechpros.com/anxiety, I've got some information there, some personal stories on some of the challenges that I've overcome, the situation that I've been in. And I would also love an opportunity to work with you, either one-on-one or a group setting, and help you get past some of the anxieties that are keeping you back from succeeding in your career, from growing your career, or launching your startup if that's what you'd want to do as well. So again, go to hellotechpros.com/anxiety. And we're going to do the next few Wednesdays, we're going to do more episodes on anxiety in the career, anxiety in developing your career. And until next time, take care.
The show notes page for this episode can be found at hellotechpros.com/213. Do you use Slack for team communication? Join the Hello Tech Pros Slack channel at hellotechpros.com/Slack. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review, subscribe to this channel, and check back tomorrow. This has been Leadership Wednesday, but tomorrow, my featured guest and I talk about technology. On Friday, people in communication. Saturday, entrepreneurship. Sunday, being unplugged. And then next week, we kick it off with Motivation Monday, followed by Tuesday, productivity. And then we're back again on Wednesday to discuss leadership. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.